Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, APC ends presidential campaign rally in Lagos. INEC accredits 146,913 observers for general elections. Militants burn woman alive in Imo, set houses on fire. And on the foreign scene, 3 UN peacekeepers killed in Mali blast. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. The news in detail. We begin with politics, where the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, on Tuesday, described President Muhammadu Buhari's support for him ahead of Saturday's poll as a booster that will enable him to work for a better Nigeria if elected. Tinubu made the declaration during a rally held at Teslim Balogun Stadium, Surulere in Lagos State. At the rally, which served as the grand finale of the APC presidential campaign, the former Lagos governor, while addressing President Buhari, assured that he will work hard for Nigeria just as the president is working hard to see that he is elected. Tinubu promised to vigorously pursue the Renewed Hope manifesto for the good of all Nigerians.
But I assure you, as you work hard for me, I will work hard for Nigeria.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
As you give Nigeria the hope to renew their faith in their country, I will sustain that hope. Those who look helpless today will be helpful in this country. All the agenda set in our program, Renewed Hope Manifesto, will be pursued diligently, vigorously, with all our energy.
Raise the hand of the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ahmed Tinubu, and the governor of Lagos State, Sam Olu. Congratulations, and I wish APC the real best of luck. Thank you very much.
Taiwo Ishao, a cameraman with Trust TV, a subsidiary of Media Trust Group, publishers of the Daily Trust titles, was attacked at the Teslim Balogun Stadium, venue of the grand finale rally of the All Progressives Congress presidential campaign. Taiwo was attacked at one of the gates of the stadium, despite carrying the press tag issued by the APC for journalists covering the rally. While President Muhammadu Buhari, who was expected at the rally, and the dignitaries, including the presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, were yet to arrive at the venue, the Trust TV cameraman, who has covered several rallies of the party held in the state, was stopped from entering despite all entreaties to them that he was a journalist assigned to cover the rally. He was not only stopped at the gate by the hoodlums, he was also beaten severally as they accused him of forging the tag. He disclosed that some bouncers were hired to man the gate, and one of them handed him over to the thugs, who beat him mercilessly, insisting he was working for the opposition party. Independent National Electoral Commission says it has accredited 229 groups, bringing 146,913 observers to the 2023 general elections. Addressing the observer groups on Tuesday in Abuja, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu said they comprised 196 domestic and 33 international observer groups. The INEC chairman said that reports and recommendations of observers and the knowledge gathered from study tours had helped the Electoral Commission to progressively improve on processes. He warned that accredited observers not to interfere with electoral process, but to keep to their roles of observing and later filing their reports. Responding, Regional Director, International Foundation for Electoral Systems Africa, Clara Cole, noted that election observation played a critical role and had contributed to improving elections. Chief Technical Advisor to INEC Chairman, Professor Bolade Eyinla, said only holders of permanent voter cards accredited by bimodal voter accreditation system would be allowed to vote at the elections. Still in politics, the presidential candidate of the People's Redemption Party, Abdulateef Kola Abiola, said he is confident of winning the upcoming general presidential elections in the country. The PRP candidate, who expressed the hope on Monday in Jos at the party's North Central and Northeast presidential rally, called on Nigerians to vote for PRP to bring about the desired change the nation so desperately required. Ado Musa completes the story.
The PRP presidential candidate and other party supporters met in Jos to solicit support from voters across North Central and Northeast during the 2023 elections. While speaking during the rally, Abiola said he joined PRP because of the ideology of the founders of the party.
The People's Redemption Party, not by mistake. I did my homework. I learned from my mistakes 30 years ago. And that is why I'm in PRP today. I learned that the only entity that is strong enough to challenge injustice is the political party you are in. That political party must have your back. Because what happened subsequently when the election was announced, the party went its way, we had to stand firm and carry the cross ourselves. I know with the leadership of my chairman, sir, that will never happen again.
In his remark, the vice presidential candidate of the party, Haro Zego, said PRP is not a party that operates along religious lines, adding that the party gives equal opportunity to everyone irrespective of the differences.
We are into politics. We believe everyone is equal and has value. And we do not need to go and bring sentiment of religion or tribe into politics. We believe that we are, and you should vote for us because we are that party that has an ideology, that has stuck to its 5 basic principles from 1978 till date. So we are a party with an ideology.
They call on Nigerians to vote PRP for a true change that can rewrite the ugly narrative in the country. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Ahead of the 2023 general elections, which begins in 4 days, displaced families in Katsina say they're yet to decide on who to vote for. Katsina State has over the years closed formal IDP camps in frontline areas, making it difficult for displaced families to have access to shelter. Streets and uncompleted buildings have been their last resorts. With no certainty on what the future holds, coupled with an unclear understanding of any party's manifesto that addresses their plight, they're demanding shelter and skill empowerment to enable them adjust to urban life. Jamil Mabai has more details.
Khadija lost her parents the night bandits attacked her community in Batsari, Katsina. But she miraculously survived.
You see, I am disabled, so I can't run. I have to wait for someone to carry me. We were running when bandits killed my dad. My mom picked me up, they killed her too. I was left in the open field. I slept there till morning when my brother came to rescue me. I don't know where my brother is now.
She now lives with her grandmother in a makeshift camp within Katsina Metropoli. Her story is a tiny part of a bigger challenge faced by thousands of displaced families. With few days to the general election, politicians have made promises, but Rahama said they don't trust them.
Getting to give political parties came to us, but we don't trust what they told us because we're not convinced on what they will do for us. There are no houses in my community. People have left, houses burnt. We can't go back.
While politicians were busy campaigning, going from one community to another, to a certain extent even taking some of their key messages to bandit-infested areas, the IDP community in Katsina of over 50,000 people are still in the dark. While politicians canvasses for votes, they have few demands: sustainable solutions, shelter, food, skills empowerment. With few days to the general election, displaced families said they are yet to see any politician with a clear plan for IDP communities.
Expert believed if politicians fail to address the demands of the IDPs, there will be future consequences.
Honestly speaking, the issue of IDP is quite disturbing. But the situation of IDPs in Katsina State, it is highly unacceptable in democratic dispensation. They are living in a miserable life.
With over 50,000 displaced families, of which 80% are women and children, they said voting is not their priority, but the quest for survival in their new urban environment. Jamil Mabe, Trust TV News, Katsina.
Court of Appeal sitting in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State, has validated the election of the state governor, Biodun Oyebanji, held on June 18 last year. Candidate of Social Democratic Party, Segun Oni, has approached the court to upturn the judgment of a lower court in his favor. Justice Hama Barka, in the judgment delivered on Tuesday virtually, said the appellant, Segun Oni of the SDP, failed to prove his case beyond reasonable doubt. Justice Barka held that the respondents Biodun Oyebanji and Monisha Deafuye were duly elected as the governor of Ekiti State. According to him, Governor Oyebanji was lawfully nominated as a candidate of the All Progressives Congress, and he emerged the winner of the election conducted under the peaceful atmosphere. Nigerian Railway Corporation in Lagos announced on Tuesday that rail services would be suspended from Saturday, February 25th to February 27th. Spokesman of the corporation, Mahmoud Yakubu, stated that the suspension is to enable Nigerians to exercise their civic duties during the presidential and National Assembly elections. Train services to be put on hold are Abuja, Kaduna, Warri, Takpe, Lagos, Ibadan, and Ido, Lagos, Ijoko interstate mass transit service. Dozens of depositors continue to struggle to get their millions of old 500 and 1,000 naira notes deposited at the Mina Central Bank of Nigeria in the Niger State capital. Some customers who spoke to Trust TV say they came from rural areas to deposit the old notes they earned from sales of farm produce. The report.
When Trust TV visited the CBN branch in Tunga, Mina, the gate was under control of security, while the premises outside of the bank was filled with depositors who said they had filled forms and were waiting to be attended to. Some of the depositors, frustrated with difficult process, appealed to the federal government and Central Bank of Nigeria to make the process less cumbersome to ease the plight of the common man.
Federal government CBN say me they come, they bring out CBN can change. But they say CBN here required the commercial banks.
You allow the commercial banks to collect it so that
they mean a branch of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Please and please. Federal government is massive. I just said it out yesterday. Okay. I have my daughters on here that bring for our price about 200,000. So my people, they are crying about some, even the hungry. Me, I'm a businessman for our people. You know, get food. My business, I didn't do furniture work. I finished my service 2015 when I finished my service. then I don't get government work. Then definitely when I get my hand work, I think go back to my life. That is why I even thank God. Wait, I'm a businessman. I even thank God. I don't go thief. I don't go do anything. I don't do all that.
They say it is a difficult situation and I hope they don't lose their hard-earned money. Abubakar Akote, Trust TV News, Mina.
Naira scarcity in the country is taking a toll on beggars in Abuja as they depend on alms for benevolent individuals and organizations, a trend that is fast disappearing. Trust TV's Kabir Lowell speaks to beggars on how they are coping with the Naira crunch. The report.
On December 15 last year, the Central Bank of Nigeria launched the newly redesigned currency into circulation, a program aimed at tackling inflation and mopping up excess liquidity outside the banking system. Beggars in FCT, however, said Naira redesign policy is hurting businesses, especially those that are heavily cash dependent, and this in turn affects. We are appealing on the government to please make the new currency available, as this is telling on us. Feeding is a problem. Taking our wards and children to the hospital or wives are also problems. This is not a good time for this policy. Some people said it is good. If it is good, let us see it in us, because this hungry is too much. Some of us cannot walk. Some are blind, they can't see. Feeding has become a problem. But we are thanking God, because even if they don't have physical cash to give us, they give us perishable goods to keep food for our families at home. Some beggars said that the persistent scarcity has opened a Naira black market where Nigerians now pay to get cash, making it increasingly difficult for people to give out cash to beggars. We are calling on the government because life has not been easy. People that normally give us money now find it very difficult to give us physical cash, but in turn they try to give us what will help our lives to keep table for our families. We have been here all day, and this is where we normally stay, that people come to give us cash, because some of us have been sick and we don't have money for medication, and this policy is really telling on us and our families. And most of us that you are seeing right here, families depend on us, and whatever we get, we take to our families. The beggars and residents called on government and the CBN to make the new currency available to make life easier for people. Kabir Lowell, Trust TV News, Abuja.
With just a few days to the 2023 elections, residents of Makurdi, the Benue State capital, are predicting a low turnout of voters for the polls. Their prediction is based on the challenge posed by the new Naira policy of the central bank, which they believe will discourage many electorates from exercising their franchise. Jimmy Azande reports.
Despite repeated calls by the president that the Naira redesign crisis will be addressed, the situation seems to get worse with every passing day due to trading of currency by merchants. Some of the residents say they cannot even access cash. This, they agreed, is an early warning sign that the 2023 polls scheduled for Saturday the 25th of February and 11th of March may witness poor turnout.
People need to travel too, that's one. People need to travel. And, because people cannot access their cash they have in bank, given that not only just about the cash, the electronic transactions too have been having difficulties. So that is certainly going to affect a lot of people who may not be able to even make transfer. If you have the opportunity to make transfer or make electronic payments, because of the difficulties of people accessing their monies in the bank as a result of some of the factors I've already mentioned, it's certainly going to affect the election, because there are certain domestic demands that people have to meet on the day of election, which they have not met.
It's quite unfortunate because we need cash to do all that is supposed to be done on that day. Some persons need to travel home to vote to the polling unit. But if you don't have cash, how will you go there? And even if you have cash, there is no fuel. So these are obstacles.
Youths in the state say they are eager to vote, but the obvious challenges of fuel and naira scarcity will hinder many from accessing their polling units, especially students who may have to travel to different destinations to cast their votes. Despite these challenges, they want their fellow youths to explore every possible option to exercise their civic rights.
The major issue we are facing in Nigeria now is the cashless policy. And where you have money in your account, but you cannot withdraw it because the cash is not there. And right now, myself, I am sent some money into my account to withdraw and transport myself back to my village, but I cannot withdraw it because the money is not there. If you go, major challenge here it will be in the process of students and many other persons trying to have the available resources to transport themselves back to their various destinations for the election.
Election that's going to commence on Saturday. From one point of view is that this issue of less cash is going to hinder the election, but I'm set and I'm just waiting for that day to just come. Just be mindful of what we are there for. Let's just go and cast our vote peacefully and then just go back to our various home.
If the situation does not improve before Friday the 24th, the anticipated voter turnout will dwindle due to these challenges.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, rampant cases of phone snatching. Do stay with us.
Nigeria now we country, APC not the party, now one man be a choice.
At last, the elections are here. Let's turn out en masse on election day and vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as president of Nigeria for a renewed hope and a better Nigeria. Vote APC, the party that shows a broom.
Kai, my people, reason this thing now. When PDP day, our country be safe. Naira strong, economy they grow. Fuel 7 naira, rice 8,000. Our lighting better. Oh, when change people come, no work, no food, economy for gutter. Naija borrow, battery tree foot down, japa left and right, sapa up and down. No need to gamble, say joy. PDP don't come, say joy. Recover Naija, say joy. We don't tire to suffer, say joy. Experience mind, say joy. We don't want experiment, say joy. Get them right, say joy. This time our life, oh, say joy. Recover Nigeria, say joy. Atiku na the man, oh, say joy. Atiku Adokowa, say joy. Na the only choice, oh, say joy.
Vote the safe choice to recover Nigeria.
PDP!
Power to the people! Now, PDP Presidential Campaign Council sponsored this message.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Treated a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secured are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Or really, if you look at England squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us on News Hour. Here's a recap of our top stories. We told you that APC ends presidential campaign rally in Lagos. We also heard that INEC accredits 146,913 observers for general elections. Moving to other stories, 13 governorship candidates in Katsina State have signed a peace accord to ensure peaceful conduct of March 11 elections. The peace accord signing is at the instance of Police Department of State Security and other security agencies. Abdullahi Yamadi completes the report.
During the peace accord signing, the governorship candidates agreed to work with all relevant stakeholders to ensure a successful and peaceful elections. INEC officials also witnessed the accord signing hosted by Katsina State Police Command. The acting commissioner of police, DC Shetima, explained that the peace accord signing was imperative to have an election devoid of rancor. He warned parents not to allow their children to be used as political thugs or foment trouble before, during, and after the general elections.
I am therefore using this medium to call on all contestants to accept the outcome of the election process in good faith. The laws of the Federation of Nigeria has provided avenues for complaints and address whenever you are not satisfied with conduct or outcome of the election. I urge you to follow this legal approved process and procedures in seeking redress.
The police and other security agencies as well as INEC officials have been reassuring residents of their readiness to conduct the election in all parts of Katsina State. They however advised eligible voters to go out en masse to vote candidates of their choice that will bring about lasting peace and development to the nation. All the candidates expressed optimism to continue preaching the gospel of peace during their campaigns and even during the election processes. They also promised to warn all their followers against thuggery, votes buying and selling, as well as issues that contravened the Electoral Act.
Our followers and tell them to abide by what we've signed. We should all join hands to support him and wish him good luck.
If I didn't win election or free and fair election, definitely I will accept it because I know it is only God who gives power, and I believe so much in that, and I believe on that, and I want to assure you that as long as there is peaceful election.
Representatives of traditional institutions and religious leaders have been admonishing peaceful conduct of all election stakeholders and spiritual intervention towards a rancor-free general elections. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Vulnerable groups within the Federal Capital Territory say they're ready to vote candidates that will address their plight. With just 4 days to the election, Noel Sampson gets their reactions on how prepared they are for the general elections. The report.
Prepares for the much anticipated 2023 elections, campaigns are focused virtually on every other group of people, including those living with disabilities, who recently met with INEC chairman to ensure they are adequately captured in the process. However, this group of vulnerable Nigerians like beggars around the Abuja metropolis are feeling left out of the entire exercise. Issues such as ownership of the permanent voters card, as well as a registered polling unit, since some of them are homeless, can stand on their way of exercising the franchise.
Yes, I have my PVC and I am ready to vote. But there is a problem. I'm not sure if I will go or not. This is my 3rd year and I haven't been at home. I want to stay at home, but I can't. I came here with my children sometimes. We hardly eat. Even if I want to go and cast my vote, I have to eat before I can go and vote. No land to even farm. We are even not allowed to stay at home. I come here just to beg. Sometimes I don't even get anything. We go to bed with hunger. At times I get 500 naira daily.
Abinda na tunkari wannan zabe shine na tunkari zabe da addu'a.
I am praying for the forthcoming election. My prayer is for God to choose a leader who will like us and not the one we like. Because the issue that we are facing right now is we can't go back to our villages because kidnappers have destroyed our homes and killed our family. I was the only one who escaped. We shouted and screamed for help, but no one came to our rescue. Now I am here begging before I can feed myself. And the people who have been helping us have stopped helping us too. I can't find a place to stay. I can't speak English. I can't do anything, but I will still go out and vote on election day.
I won't vote because even those who have a valid voter card are also suffering. Just look at the way we are suffering. Everyone is not treated nicely. In a normal democracy, people are supposed to be consulted before any major change on our currency is carried out. But that was not done by the government. I did not register for any voters card because I don't even have the intention to do so.
I pray for this election to be successful, but I don't have voters card, reason being that I'm studying in an Islamic school and our teacher doesn't allow us to even go anywhere, talk more of going to register for PVC. Despite the challenges they face, they say they are ready to cast their vote for those who will address the plight. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Still on electoral matters, women group in Katsina State wants the state government and other stakeholders to provide adequate security that guarantees safety of all voters before, during and after the Saturday's elections. The groups are concerned about the safety of voters in insecurity-prone communities in the state. Abdullahi Ahmadi reports.
The women groups said their major concern is the security of women and other voters during the election, urging parents to warn their children against fomenting trouble.
Concerning the gender-based violence for survival and election, we all know that anything that happens, the women always face the most challenges. So we are advising the government to make sure that we have enough securities that will make our women to have confidence, not only the women, to ensure all the Nigerians that everybody should come out that day and vote.
The women groups also mobilize and sensitize against the application of henna decorative substance to avoid being wasting their votes. They said past experiences show that accreditation machines failed to recognize women with henna decorations on their fingertips, and the experience should be avoided this time.
So please, we are begging you, women, to please help us. Those that have not applied the lele should not do it. It's whatever makeup you want to make. Please, just wait. After the election, you can decorate yourselves. And in case you have done it before now, you can use other chemicals to wash it off. Like your hair relaxer, you can use it, apply it to wash it off.
I call it more especially to our member, the retired police officer's wife, with the rank and parts of the retired police officer's wife. Let them come out on that day with their own voters card, and let them not put anything which can affect their fingers, so that when they come for the voting, they cannot be able to do it.
Though women constitute substantial number of the voting population, their number not reflective in elective and appointive political positions they occupy in the country. Abdullahi Ismail, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps Adamawa Command has reiterated the determination of its personnel towards strengthening skills and operations for the conduct of 2023 general elections. The command stated this during the sensitization workshop for officers and men in preparation of the forthcoming elections. Salis Lawal has the report.
To achieve free, fair and credible elections, the NSCDC has been charged to actively protect and secure all the polling units in collaboration with other sister security agencies. The command cautioned the electorate not to engage in any act that can lead to arrest during the elections. The command said if anyone caught planning to bring chaos before, during and after the general elections, the offenders will be arrested and dealt with accordingly.
Given this, NSCDC must protect the state against all levels of threats, must do proactively and constantly bearing in mind that violation of the fundamental human rights of the citizens or any act of crudely will fascinate several sanctions, and whoever is arrested will be dismissed and handed over to the court of prosecution.
The command said it is important for officers to acquaint themselves with the new electoral law for a seamless operation.
In this
system where you're going to. Anybody you see playing around with beavers, trying to watch himself, he's doing like this, he's playing music, you are free to challenge that person. And if he refuses to listen to you, get him arrested and give it to the next supervisory presiding officer. We will take action on it. Because all they are trying to do is, how can we make this thing spoil? If they are not actually ad hoc staff. Because we are aware there are some ad hoc staff that they come with the name of ad hoc staff, but they are not. We are ready to face them.
The command has also assured Nigerians that the Corps will work to secure voters, domestic observers, sensitive election materials, and electoral officers, while the command called on the public to report suspicious activities immediately. Silas Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
Insecurity and crime. An elderly woman was burnt to ashes when gunmen razed houses on Tuesday at Amagu Ihube community in Okigwe local government area of Imo State. Among houses burnt were the country homes of the Imo State Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Emeka Okoronkwo. Also burnt is the country home of a former dean of the Faculty of Law in Imo State University, Owerri Nnamdi Obiareri, who served as Commissioner for Information, Youth and Sports and Land and Urban Planning during the administrations of former governors of the state Ikedi Ohakim and Rochas Okorocha. Also touched was the country home of the retired Director of Department of Security Service, Emeka Ngu. Police Public Relations Officer in the state, ASP Henry Okoye, who confirmed the attack, said the police had launched an investigation into the incident, adding that no arrest had yet been made. Osun State Police have arrested 7 men for alleged housebreaking and phone theft in Osogbo, the state capital. The suspects, who were paraded at the police headquarters in Osogbo, confessed to the crime. Hamid Oyegbade reports.
The incidences of phone snatching by hoodlums and phone theft by burglars were rampant in Osun State. The new Commissioner of Police in the state, Kainde Lunge, assured residents that the menace would be curtailed. The efforts of police yielded positive results with the arrest of these suspects, who confessed to their involvement in phone theft.
We have placed appropriate strategies to curb criminality in Osun State. Not just phone snatchers, any form of criminality will be checked. And importantly, there is adequate assurance for the good people of Osun that they will enjoy peace and tranquility now, during the election, after the election, and throughout. The men are up to the task, and they will ensure there is tranquility in the state.
There was a guy that brought a phone to me for repair. After repairing, I will have to sell it for him. So this outside guy was the one that bought the phone. After I bought the phone, maybe they tracked the phone and they made the phone with him. Maybe the holders of the phone were with him, and he actually sold it to the other guy, which is sitting down. So that was what happened. I'm at that shop at the Kufun.
We burgled a shop. We stole phones and other items from the shop. We plead with government to have mercy on us. We know that we committed the crime. I bought 4 stolen phones. I sold each to another person. When I sold the phone to him, the police now arrested him.
CP Kainde reiterated his commitment to rid the state of criminal elements and ensure safety of lives and property in the state.
The story was filed by Hamid Oyegbade and presented in our studios. Now moving on, the administrative headquarters of Okehi local government area of Kogi State at Obangede has been reportedly set on fire by unidentified people. According to an eyewitness, Mohammed Enesi from Obangede, the inferno was noticed few minutes after midnight on Tuesday. He said the hoodlums planted the improvised explosive devices which destroyed the bursary department of the local government secretariat. The State Security Advisor, Navy Commander Jerry Omodara, retired, who confirmed the incident on Tuesday, said it was the handwork of saboteurs who are out to cause panic to prevent voters from coming out to exercise their civic rights. Omodara, who added that no casualty was recorded, assured that security operatives have been drafted to the place to restore normalcy. The Kogi State Police Command has confirmed the incident and assured that the situation is under control. Moving to education, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Gombe State University chapter, has decried the non-payment of 13 months arrears of 2020 promotion. Speaking at a press conference on Tuesday, the ASU branch chairman, Suleiman Salihu Jauro, said the challenges in the university have severely eroded staff morale due to the present-day economic reality in the country. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Presently, the Gombe State government has paid the outstanding 2 months' salaries of lecturers of the state-owned university, which held amidst the prolonged ASU strike last year. But for the lecturers, there are a lot of unpaid entitlements they want the Gombe State government to address.
Non-increment in the monthly subvention to the university to the tune of 250 million naira in order to enable the university seamlessly honor its obligations of payment of salaries and overhead expenses. 2. Non-implementation of staff promotions. Promotion of staff has since 2020 become a luxury in the university, to the extent that the arrears of the promotion up to 30 months of 2020 promotion has not been paid, and the 2021 and 2022 promotion exercises are yet to be implemented.
According to the union, non-payment of accumulated earned academic allowance in the university for period covering 2015, 2016 to 2019, 2020 sessions has affected the morale of lecturers at the institution.
The non-implementation of the consequential adjustment in salaries arising from the upward review of minimum wage to 30,000 naira in 2019, to which the state government has implemented to workers across the state level. On this, we are calling the attention of the government to extend this kind gesture to staff in the university.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities asked the Gombe State government to address the issues raised to ensure a more stable industrial atmosphere in the state. As at the time of filing this report, Trust TV was awaiting a response from the Gombe State government on the matter. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. The news will continue shortly.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. The Central Bank of Nigeria on Tuesday said President Muhammadu Buhari's directive on the 200 naira note still stands. In a statement, the CBN dismissed some media reports that the president approved the reissuance and release of the old 500 and 1,000 naira notes as legal tender in the country. It described the reports as fake news, pledging to work with security agencies to unravel the perpetrators of the misleading reports. Buhari, in his nationwide broadcast on February 16, directed the Apex Bank to only reissue and recirculate the old 200 naira banknotes as legal tender for 60 days. Now let's join Chiamaka Nwafo for more business news.
The Debt Management Office says the federal government savings bond has received a total subscription of 45.135 billion naira between 2017 and 2022. The Director General of the DMO, Patience Oniha, disclosed this in Lagos on Tuesday. She said the savings bond was specifically designed to encourage retail investors who had done well across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, going by the numbers. According to her, it's a product that the DMO introduced in March of 2017 to enable retail investors to participate in the federal government securities market and promote financial inclusion. Canada's annual inflation rate eased more than expected in January to 5.9% according to data on Tuesday. This will allow the Bank of Canada to keep interest rates steady at its next meeting while it lets previous rate hikes sink in. Analysts had expected inflation to edge down to 6.1% from 6.3% in December. Month over month, the Consumer Price Index rose 0.5%. Statistics Canada said, again lower than analysts' forecast of 0.7% gain after a 0.6% decline in December. The Bank of Canada in January raised its benchmark interest rate to a 15-year high of 4.5% and became the first major central bank to say it would hold off on further increases as long as prices eased in line with its forecast. Before the inflation figures were released, money markets saw a 100% chance for another rate increase this year. Now they see a roughly 80% chance. And finally in stocks, Tuesday's trading activities on the floor of the Nigerian stock market closed bearish on profit taking. The all-share index declined by 0.06% to close at 54,189.31 points. Market capitalization declined by 0.06% to close at 29.520 trillion naira, thereby shedding 19 billion naira. The market broke closed negative as 10 equities emerged as gainers against 14 equities that declined in their share prices. An aggregate of 254 million units of shares were traded in 2,950 deals valued at 15.58 billion naira. And that's it on Business News. I am Chiamaka Nwafo.
On the foreign scene, 3 United Nations peacekeepers were killed and 5 were seriously injured on Tuesday when their convoy struck a roadside bomb in central Mali. The UN mission on Tuesday said a MINUSMA force convoy hit an improvised explosive device. MINUSMA, the UN multidimensional integrated stabilization mission in Mali, was created in 2013 to help stabilize a state battered by insurgents. Thousands of people have died and hundreds of thousands have fled their homes during the course of the emergency. With more than 13,500 military personnel and police, MINUSMA is one of the biggest but also deadliest UN peacekeeping missions, suffering a high toll, especially to IEDs. Let's now join Adeni Ajishafe for sports news.
Ahead of Nigeria's tie against host nation Egypt on Wednesday, Flying Eagles coach Ladan Bozo strongly feels the team can emerge stronger from the disappointment of their opening qualification defeat by Senegal and hope for a positive outcome against Egypt and Mozambique. After losing to Senegal at the cadet level for the first time in 12 years, Bozo says the team has the needed talent to tactically get it right as they have learned from the loss. The Flying Eagles will be hoping to get back on track in the ongoing African Under-20 Cup of Nations as they trade tackles with host nation Egypt on match day 2 on Wednesday at Cairo International Stadium. The Nigeria under-20 men's team lost narrowly to Junior Teranga Lions of Senegal by 1-0 in the opening game on Sunday, but still stand a chance of qualifying for the quarter-final stage of the competition. The Flying Eagles have won the competition 7 times, while Egypt have won it 4 times. Nigeria and Egypt kick-off time for Wednesday's game is 6 p.m. Nigerian time. And still in football, young stars Joshua John and Emmanuel Ogbole scored in each half of a pulsating Group A abridged Nigerian Premier Football League Match Day 9 match as their goals secure a crucial 2-0 victory for Solid Miners over Remo Stars at the Navy encounter, which took place at the New Jos Stadium, which is serving as the temporary adopted home of the Solid Miners. Nasarawa United took an early lead in the 8th minute after midfielder Joshua John powerfully headed home King Osanga's corner kick in what was his debut league goal. The Solid Miners were forced to substitute 5 minutes before the interval as goalkeeper Jerry Isaac was rushed to the hospital after picking up a knock trying to save a ball, with Ame Godwin taking his place. 2 minutes later, Emmanuel Ogbole nudged off a Remo defender before striking a thunderbolt with his weaker left foot beyond the grasp of goalkeeper Kayode Bankole to make it 2-0 for the hosts and his first league goal of the season. Remo Stars were in search of redemption as Godwin Odibo, Oluwaseun Odusi and Andy Okpe fought hard against Nasarawa United to no avail, while United head on for the deserved victory. The result moves the Solid Miners to 8th place in Group A, 1 point above drop zone after taking 6 points from their last 3 matches. 2022-2023 abridged Nigerian Premier Football League season will go on a 3-week break and will resume after general elections. That's Sport News. I am Adeniyi Ajishafe.
And with that, we've come to the end of News Hour on Trust TV. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.